Do you think you know your car inside out? In reality, most drivers only know how to turn the steering wheel, press the gas, and hit the brakes. They don't realize there's a whole world of fascinating quirks behind every car. Some records sound like jokes, but are true. A limousine as heavy as 3 elephants, a car lower than half a meter, or a model faster than a Category 5 Hurricane. Even that new car smell everyone loves? It's actually the scent of harmful chemicals. In this video, we reveal 41 little-known car facts that will make you see your familiar ride in a whole new light. Pause for 2 seconds and hit the subscribe button to support us. One, windshield wipers, invented by Mary Anderson, were once called useless. Windshield wipers, something we all use without thinking on rainy days, were once dismissed as useless. In 1903, Mary Anderson, an American woman, invented a simple wiper mechanism so drivers wouldn't have to stop in the snow to wipe their windshields by hand. But when she pitched the idea to car companies, they laughed. They said drivers would never need such a thing. Just a few years later, as cars became more common and harsh, weather made driving tough, Mary's invention became standard equipment. Today, it's a mandatory feature. For 2. The first car radio cost nearly a quarter of the car's price. Today, car radios are a given, but in 1924, they were a luxury item. The first radio installed in a car cost $130. That's steep when an entire new car was only about $540. Many people argued music would distract drivers. Some U.S. states even considered banning car radios. 3. The first cars didn't have steering wheels. Hard to believe, but the earliest cars didn't have steering wheels. Instead, drivers used a large lever in front of them, like steering a boat rather than a car. To turn, they had to shift their whole body and use arm strength to move the front wheels. It was exhausting and hard to control, especially at higher speeds. Only in the early 20th century did the round steering wheel appear. It quickly revolutionized driving, making turns smoother, more precise, and much safer. 4. The dashboard was once a wooden board to block mud on horse carriages. Before it became the sleek, button-filled panel we know today, the dashboard was just a wooden board on horse carriages. Its sole job? To block mud, rocks, and water kicked up by horses from hitting the driver. When cars were invented, this board stayed in the same spot and evolved into the place for speedometers, gauges, and warning lights. The name dashboard stuck around, even though there's no dash or mud to block anymore. 5. The first speeding ticket was issued for going 12 miles per hour. The first recorded speeding ticket in automotive history happened in 1904 for driving just 12 miles per hour. Sounds funny, but back then, the speed limit in residential areas was only 8 miles per hour. That car was seen as racing like a bullet. The police had to chase it down on bicycles to catch up. While 12 miles per hour feels like a crawl today, this incident kicked off an era of traffic laws and safety awareness. 6. Electric cars existed as early as 1900. Many think electric cars are a modern invention, but they go back over 120 years. In 1900, nearly 40% of vehicles on U.S. roads were electric. Another 40% used steam, and only about 20% ran on gasoline. Back then, electric cars were popular because they were quiet, clean, and easier to start than gas cars, which needed hand cranking. But as gas engines became cheaper and more powerful, and electric starters were invented, electric cars faded away. It wasn't until the 21st century, with concerns about pollution and rising gas prices, that electric cars made a comeback. 7. The word car comes from the Latin carus, meaning a wheeled vehicle. Few people realize that the word car, so tied to modern life, has ancient roots. It comes from the Latin word carus, which meant a wheeled vehicle, like the horse-drawn carts used for goods or warriors in Roman times. When motor vehicles appeared, the English borrowed and shortened the term to car, a simple word, but it carries thousands of years of transportation history. 8. 80% of a car's materials can be recycled. A car might seem like a giant hunk of metal destined for the junkyard when it breaks down, but in reality, 80% of its materials can be recycled, from steel, aluminum, and copper to tires, glass, and even seat fabric. Most parts can be processed and reused. In many countries, car recycling is a billion-dollar industry. It reduces waste and saves energy on producing new materials. Every retired car is dismantled, its parts separated to live on in new vehicles. 9. 90% of drivers sing while driving. Surveys show that 90% of drivers have sung while driving, even if unconsciously. Music helps relax the mind, reduces stress, and makes long drives less boring. But getting too caught up in the tune can make you lose focus without realizing it. Some drivers sing to the beat and press the gas harder, not noticing their speed creeping up. So, sing freely, but don't let the vibe take over your driving. A great song is only fun if you reach your destination safely. 10. 16% of drivers never wash their cars. Hard to believe, but 16% of drivers admit they almost never wash their cars. Many think, a little dirt doesn't hurt, but dust, road salt, or bird droppings can corrode paint, rust the frame, and age the car faster than you think. Over time, the paint dulls, rubber seals crack, and even the windshield gets hazy, reducing visibility. 11. The average car spends 95% of its time parked. An average car is only driven about 5% of the time. The other 95%? It's sitting still in parking lots, driveways, or workplaces. That means tens of thousands of dollars in investment are essentially hibernating every day. When a car sits unused for long periods, the battery weakens, tires flatten, oil thickens, and brakes can seize. If you don't drive often, start the engine a few times a week or take it for a short spin to keep parts lubricated. 12. The average driver spends 5 months of their life waiting at red lights. Sounds like a joke, but the average driver spends about 5 months of their life just waiting at red lights. That's thousands of hours sitting still, watching the countdown. That time could be enough to learn a new skill or read hundreds of books. 13. There are over 1.2 billion cars now, expected to hit 2 billion by 2040. Right now, there are over 1.2 billion cars on roads worldwide. That's a massive number when you imagine each driver taking up space. Experts predict this could surpass to 2 billion by 2040. That means more crowded streets, worse pollution, and traffic jams becoming a daily norm. 14. The world produces 165,000 new cars every day. Every day, factories worldwide churn out about 165,000 new cars. That's over 60 million a year. Sounds impressive, but it also means tighter parking lots, busier roads, and a huge demand for steel, plastic, and rubber. 15. Over 250 million tires are discarded each year. More than 250 million tires are thrown out globally every year. Most take decades to decompose, taking up massive space in landfills. Some are recycled into playground surfaces, roads, or building materials. But many are still burned or buried, causing serious pollution. If you think these facts are rare, give this a like. 16. The average car contains 55 pounds of copper. Electric cars have 3 times that. A typical car has about 55 pounds of copper, enough to cast 6 medium-sized cat statues. Electric cars use triple that amount because their batteries, wiring, and motors need copper for efficient electricity flow. This demand drives up copper prices and puts pressure on mining. That's why recycling copper from old cars is becoming a must for the auto industry. 17. The heaviest limousine. The world's heaviest limousine, called Midnight Rider, debuted in 2004. It weighs over 50,000 pounds, equal to 3 adult elephants, nearly 70 feet long. It has 3 lounge rooms, a bar, and space for 40 passengers. It's not just a car, it's a true mobile hotel. But moving that massive hunk of metal comes with equally massive fuel consumption. 18. The lowest car. The world's lowest car, named Mirai, was built in Japan and stands less than 18 inches tall from the ground. That's lower than an adult's knee. The driver practically lies on the road, feeling like they're sliding across the pavement. Because it's so low, Mirai needs escort vehicles front and back to stay safe among cars twice its height. 9. The longest car. The longest car in the world was built in the U.S. in 1986 by J. Orberg. It stretches 100 feet, about the length of 5 giraffes lined up end to end. Inside, it has a mini pool, a waterbed, and even a helipad. This monster can split in the middle to make turns easier, turning driving into an experience that's both luxurious and nearly impossible on regular streets. 20. The fastest police car. In Dubai, police cars don't just chase criminals, they chase speed records. Their fleet includes the Bugatti Veyron, the world's fastest police car, capable of hitting 253 miles per hour. With over 1,000 horsepower, it's like a hurricane with flashing lights. In reality, this supercar is more for show than catching crooks. No one could outrun it anyway. 21. The highest speeding fine. The record for the highest speeding fine goes to a Swiss driver, who was fined $290,000 for driving his Ferrari Testarossa nearly double the speed limit. In Switzerland, fines are based on income, and this speed-loving billionaire was a repeat offender. 22. The cheapest car. The world's cheapest car is the Tata Nano from India, launched at about $2,000, less than a new iPhone. Small, light, and fuel efficient, it was aimed at everyday people buying their first car. But its low price meant cutting corners on comfort and safety, so the Nano vanished from the market after a few years. 23. The most durable car. Rolls-Royce holds the record for the most durable cars. Over 75% of all Rolls-Royces ever made are still on the road today. Each one is crafted meticulously with durable materials and engines that are nearly immortal if maintained properly. 24. The fastest car. The Bugatti Chiron Supersport 300 Plus holds the record as the world's fastest car, reaching 304.77 miles per hour, nearly 490 kilometers per hour. At that speed, a single blink takes you almost 140 meters. With over 1,500 horsepower, it's like a rocket on wheels, nearly impossible to push to its limit on public roads. 25. Volvo's 3-point seatbelt. The 3-point seatbelt, which saves millions of lives yearly, was invented by Volvo in 1959. Remarkably, Volvo didn't patent it. They shared it for free with the entire auto industry to save lives. With one simple pull and click, this invention saves a life every 6 minutes. It's simple, yet monumental. 26. Airbags deploy at 200 meters in 0.04 seconds. When a crash happens, airbags deploy at a staggering speed, nearly 200 miles per hour, in just 0.04 seconds. That's faster than a blink. The force is strong enough to protect your head and chest from impact, but can cause minor injuries if you're sitting too close to the steering wheel. 27. The tick-tick sound of turn signals. That familiar tick-tick sound of a turn signal doesn't come from a speaker. It's actually made by a small metal spring. When you flip the signal, an electric current heats the spring, causing it to bend and make a click each time it connects. This repeats until you turn it off. That sound reassures the driver that the blinker is working in rhythm. 28. Modern cars simulate the turn signal sound. In many modern cars, the classic tick-tick of the turn signal is no longer a real mechanical sound. Electronic systems have replaced the old relays, so manufacturers now play a fake sound through speakers to avoid feeling empty. It's a small detail, but it shows how human habits shape car design. 29. The BMW M5 plays a fake engine sound. The BMW M5 is famously powerful, but so quiet that drivers can't fully feel its strength. To fix this, BMW plays a fake engine sound through the cabin speakers. It gives the thrill of a roaring engine, even if the real one is nearly silent. 30. The Ford Crown Victoria, 2011, was the last car with a cassette player. The 2011 Ford Crown Victoria was the last car model to come with a cassette player, a symbol of the analog music era. After that, cars switched to CDs and AUX ports. For many, that cassette deck wasn't just for music. It was a memory of youth on long road trips. 31. The Audi logo. Audi's four-ring logo isn't just for decoration. It symbolizes the 1932 merger of four independent car makers: Audi, DKW, Horch, and Wanderer. Each ring represents one company united as a sign of strength and unity. Those four rings became Audi's global hallmark. 32. The Mercedes-Benz logo. The three-pointed star of Mercedes-Benz isn't just a symbol of luxury. It stands for conquering three domains: land, sea, and air. When the brand started, it built engines for ships and planes too. Today, that star remains a bold statement of the company's limitless ambition and power. 33. The BMW logo. Many think BMW's round blue and white logo represents the Bavarian flag, but it's actually inspired by the company's aircraft manufacturing past. The circle mimics a spinning propeller against a blue sky. The name BMW stands for Bayerische Motorenwerke, or Bavarian Motor Works, the birthplace of this century-old brand. 34. A car with a zombie survival kit. It sounds like a movie, but it's real. Hyundai Tucson once released a special edition with a zombie survival kit. It came with steel grills, a machete, an axe, and an emergency storage compartment. Inspired by the zombie movie craze, this was both a quirky marketing move and proof that the auto industry can turn any idea into reality. 35. The truth about the new car smell. That new car smell many people love isn't as pleasant as it seems. It's a mix of dozens of volatile organic compounds, VOCs, from plastics, glues, and interior materials. Breathing it too long in a confined space can cause headaches or irritation. 36. White is the most popular car color. Worldwide, white remains the most popular car color choice. It's not just clean and classy, it keeps cars cooler in the sun and easier to spot in low light. Studies show white cars are about 10% less likely to crash than darker ones, simply because they're more visible on the road. 37. The average car has enough copper to equal 6 cats. An average car contains about 55 pounds of copper, roughly the weight of 6 medium-sized cats. This copper is in wires, motors, heaters, and countless sensors. Electric cars use 3 times as much. That's why recycling copper from old cars is becoming a key resource for the auto industry. 38. A billion-dollar industry. Few know that car recycling is one of the world's biggest billion-dollar industries. Each year, tens of millions of old cars are dismantled, reusing steel, aluminum, copper, and plastic. This process saves resources and cuts millions of tons of emissions, turning junk cars into a true gold mine. 39. In many countries, police carry teddy bears to comfort lost kids. In many countries, patrol officers keep small teddy bears in their cars. These simple toys help calm lost or traumatized children after accidents. A stuffed bear can make a child feel safe and cooperative, easing fear amid blaring sirens. 40. More than a few countries drive on the left. Many think only the UK or Japan drives on the left, but about 35% of the world's population follows this rule. From India to Australia to South Africa, hundreds of millions drive on the opposite side. This complicates car imports, steering wheel designs, and even traveling abroad. 41. Japan was once the top car-producing nation. For decades, Japan was the world's leading car producer, with brands like Toyota, Honda, and Nissan dominating globally. Today, China holds the top spot, with the US in second. Still, Japan maintains a reputation for quality, durability, and precision that few can match. The world of cars isn't just about speed or tech. It's packed with fascinating stories behind every detail, from life-saving inventions like seatbelts to harmless habits like never washing your car. They all reflect how humans evolve with their vehicles. Knowing these facts not only makes you a better driver, but also deepens your appreciation for every journey behind the wheel. Don't miss the next video. Follow the channel now.